Your Today we got anime without filler feels empty, and to that I say, yeah, bro. So many anime just end after 2 or 3 seasons. There's no fluff. There's no just random adventures. It's just boom, 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 done. And I'm not saying all filler is good, but at least a little bit. God, yikes.
Remember when filler used to be the worst thing in anime? Naruto's swing scene again, Gaara's tragic childhood for the 6th time, One Piece dragging us through long ring Longland like it was a punishment.
Bro, hot take. Long Ring Longland was not that bad. It was actually, I found it hilarious. I love that arc.
We complained about it, we skipped it, and we memed it to death. But now, I kind of miss it. Because somewhere along the way, anime stopped slowing down, characters stopped hanging out, and those weird, unnecessary, kind of pointless episodes, they started to feel like something we don't get anymore. And that's what made me want to look into what filler gave us and what anime might have lost when it slowly disappeared. While filler may have a bad reputation, it wasn't always just recycled animation or off-model character art. It was more of the in-between. It was the episodes that weren't in the manga but filled the world in ways the manga never had time to. Like when Naruto got
real, like, I know some people say that, like, the connection between Team 7 and Naruto wasn't, like, fully developed because when they got together, the next thing you know, they're fighting Zabuza. The next thing you know, they're in the tuning exam. There's no in between. There's none of them having fun. Like, you know the episode where they're trying to, like, see Kakashi's face? Yeah, that's a funny episode where they're just like hanging out, just being kids doing random adventures.
Paired up with Kiba, Shino, and Hinata for some random mission about finding a beetle that could magically track down Sasuke. Or when Rock Lee and Might Guy dragged him into some absurd side quest about the curry of life, both of which were hilarious. And yeah, I'll admit, these episodes didn't push the plot forward, but they made the world feel alive. They gave you moments with characters you didn't know as much about, and made them feel real. They made the village feel like an actual place, not just a backdrop. And I could say the same about One Piece as well. The Straw Hats were always vibing, cooking, fighting over food, playing stupid games. Filler gave them space to breathe, to just exist. And that space, that's where a lot of the heart lived. One Piece has always had this unique energy about it. Sometimes it's epic, sometimes it's dumb, and sometimes it just wants to hang out. That's
one of the things I really like about One Piece. It doesn't filler doesn't feel like filler. You know for those who watched or don't know, to the episode where like some of the crew loses their memory. Well, all the crew loses their memory except Robin, and they have to find each other again, and they're just, you know what I'm saying, reliving memories and just being silly. And even Longer in Longland, where it's just them having fun side quests, bro. You need that.
That's why its filler never felt completely disconnected. Even the silliest arcs added something to the crew dynamic. Let's take Long Ring Longland as an example. It's where the actual manga content was extended with a lot of filler. And yeah, it was goofy and it stalled the story. But you got to see the Straw Hats participate in these seemingly dumb games. You got to see Luffy go head to head with all sorts of weird characters, and you got that iconic boxing scene with Luffy and Usopp. On top of that, you got Sanji and Zoro arguing over something dumb every 5 minutes. It gave us a moment to pause and really have fun with the crew seeing their dynamics together. Or the G8 arc, which is easily one of the best filler arcs in anime.
Bro, this arc was great too. They just fell into a marine base and had to just be goofy. And that's the picture where I had at my lock screen at one point. Luffy's just walking around behind some guy. The guy turns around, looks around, and Luffy's just like
anime. There was no big villain, no world-ending threat, just the crew stuck in a marine base trying not to get caught. It didn't matter that it wasn't canon, what mattered was the vibe. The world felt real and the characters felt like people you wanted to spend time with. And that's exactly what filler did. It reminded you that this wasn't just a grand adventure, it was a story about the bonds, the arguments, the laughs, everything that made them feel like a family. Let's go back to the Naruto filler for a moment. After Naruto and Sasuke fought in the Valley of the End, the story hit pause. And for a lot of us at the time, that pause felt like an eternity. Dozens of episodes, no Sasuke, no big villain, just Naruto going on missions. And back
I'm gonna lie, when I was first watching Naruto, I didn't really know what filler was when I was watching Naruto. Not like I was new to anime, but I used to just watch just episodes of everything, right? I was watching like 100 or 200 episodes of just pure nonsense. After the Valley of the End fight, I thought you had to watch everything, but then when I found out you didn't need to, I was so perturbed.
Then people hated it. They called it useless, skippable, and a waste of time. But looking back now, it was kind of special, because those episodes weren't about the plot, they were about the people. Naruto teaming up with random pairings from the Konoha 11, running the hilarious missions with Lee and Might Guy. We got to see random weird combos you'd never see otherwise. They gave the background characters the spotlight, let them talk, fail, be awkward, and let them feel human. The village felt like an actual village, not just a stage for big fights, but a place where people lived, argued, trained, and tried to move on. And for Naruto, it was the last time he was just a kid trying to be acknowledged. Before the Akatsuki, before the Fourth Great Ninja War, just a lonely kid doing his best. It didn't move the story forward, but it helped us sit with the characters before everything changed. But filler didn't just disappear by accident, it got pushed out by the current state of the anime industry. Back in the 2000s, shows like One Piece and Naruto ran every week, no breaks, no seasons, just constant episodes, whether the manga was ready or not. That meant filler was a necessity. Studios needed time to let the manga breathe, so they added in between arcs, detours, and downtime. But today, anime doesn't really work like that anymore. Most modern shonen is seasonal. You get 12 episodes, maybe 24 if you're lucky. Then it goes on a break again for a year or two or even 3. And yeah, this new model gives us.
But I'm not even mad at it. I'm not mad, but it's kind of like, dang. You wish you can see more of them just be goofy. Like Jujutsu Kaisen does it a little bit, where it's like the episode where Yuji's talking to a girl that had a crush on him and whatnot, and then just hanging out, having fun. Yeah, bro. Like we need more of that. Just because like the growth of certain characters just feels rushed. Because one day they're immature, two episodes go by, and they're an adult. Like how?
Higher animation quality, better pacing, tighter stories, but it also means that there's no room to breathe. Every episode has to matter, every scene has to push the story forward. I, for example, would have loved to see the Jujutsu Kaisen trio of Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara get more time just being people, hanging out, screwing up a mission, or even seeing combinations of characters we don't get to see together often complete these missions. Even simply seeing Yuji and Todo's hilarious interactions more often would have been nice. And so filler didn't just die because we hated it, it died because the industry has changed. And when filler disappeared, we didn't just lose those extra episodes. We lost the downtime, the weird, quiet, nothing really happens moments that made these worlds feel real. We lost the chance to see characters just exist, to laugh over lunch, to mess up missions, to interact with people they normally wouldn't. We lost a bit of that emotional build-up, the slow bonding that made the big moments hit even harder. Or when you see the Straw Hats argue, joke, and struggle with small things, their loyalty feels more real when it matters most. Modern anime just doesn't give us that to that same level. And it's not because the stories are worse, it's because the format doesn't allow it anymore. And yeah, the fights are gorgeous, the animation is peak, the stories are amazing, but sometimes I don't want another high-stakes battle. Sometimes I just want to see what Naruto and his friends get up to during a random day in the Hidden Leaf Village. And yeah, I'll be
Real. Because what? I'm trying to think of an anime that does that still. Like Beyblade, when I used to watch it. Like even though it was 52 episodes, they would still have like downtime. Like they would chill, they would train, relax. What else? Dragon Ball with like Goku and Piccolo learning how to drive. They're just goof. Yeah, the goof off when they're just goofing off. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch.
the first to admit, filler was never perfect. A lot of it was really just padding, waiting week after week for a new episode, only to get one that didn't move the story forward. It was frustrating. In fact, a part of me is still happy that some of the more aimless filler is now gone. But as well, now that these long-running shows have ended or are nearing their end, looking back at them as complete stories, not just as weekly 20-minute episodes, you start to realize something, that some of that filler truly deserved to exist. Because it gave us something that's hard to find in anime today, which is space. Space space for characters to feel like people, space for moments that didn't matter to the plot but mattered to us. And now that it's gone, I don't just notice what we gained, I notice what we lost. Yeah, the newer shows are faster, prettier, and cleaner, but sometimes they just feel a little bit more colder. That's why I kind of miss the time when anime gave us the time to linger, to waste an episode, to spend time with the world, not just the story. Because in the end, filler didn't always elevate the story, but it expanded it. It gave us moments that didn't need to be epic to be meaningful. And
Yeah, bro. I don't know. There's just not a lot of love because most, like you said, most of it's just 12 episodes. You have to wait another 4 months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, like Black Clover fans and Bleach fans and all that. Dang, there's nothing to like keep you satisfied and wait for what's next.
maybe that's what I miss the most about filler episodes. And with that, I'll wrap up this video. I just want to take a moment to thank everyone for their support on my first ever video. I read through all the comments and
Anyway, that will be the end of the video. Let me know your thoughts and see you next time.